back to the Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from O'Shea Jackson. It's about Donovan Sharpe, and it's about Aber and Preach kind of exposing him for just the hypocrisy that he's been doing through the manosphere. You know, talking about you should never date single mothers, but yet he's with a single mother, and just the way he goes about like pushing the red pill content onto his channel. I'm not a big fan of him myself. I don't follow him just because I don't like how he presents the content. So please like and subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate that. Let's get to the chow. It's chow time.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Demo, more about this music. So guys, here in the red pill communities, you will hear a lot of things from men, such as don't get married, don't commit, don't have kids because you're on child support. And my favorite is don't marry or date single moms.
See, I agree with most. Like, I wouldn't say don't, but these are things that you need to be careful with. And you know, if you want kids, have kids. If you want to be married, get married. Like I said, you guys know how I feel about marriage. Like, I still want to get married, even though I've been, you know, in the game like this, and I've seen what I've seen, and you know, experienced, you know, divorce and everything too. I still want it. That is what I want for my legacy, and I want kids. So I think men should strive for it. We shouldn't avoid it, but it's fucking hard. I know this, man. Like, it's not easy to find a good woman to get on the program and take care of the kids for us and things like that. But I'm still going to work for it. So this is why I think a lot of the manosphere, like telling men not to do these things, And it's just like, no, just give them the warning. Just tell them, like, this is why you shouldn't do these things, and let them decide for themselves. You know, like, don't. And the single father thing, or, you know, being a stepfather, I think is pretty awesome. Like, yeah, it's like, I think the man itself is getting taken advantage of majority of the time, but the man stepping up to raise other to raise other children of not his own, I think that's a very solid, very virtuous signal, I guess.
Now, again, I don't really have a problem with what somebody wants to do. I know some men are stepdads, and that's fine if you want to do that. But one thing that I have a problem with is for somebody to say don't marry or date a single mom when you're doing it.
Yep.
Because now you're lying. Now, here's what I want to talk about with this dating coach, because Alba and Preach have gotten hold of some receipts, and that dating coach is Donovan Sharpe. Now, how this beef is even happening is because Fresh and Fit had a beef with Alba and Preach. I won't go into details. Donovan Sharpe has taken Fresh and Fit's side, although Fresh and Fit were wrong in the beef. And Alba and Preach exposed Fresh and Fit last year before the death of Kevin Samuels. And it's clear as day as to why Fresh and Fit are frauds. But we won't even deal with that right now. One of the biggest frauds in the red pill communities is Donovan Sharpe. He is either married or dating a single mom. And I was the first to expose that because we had a phone conversation one day, and there is a young lady in the background making noise, which I figured if that was the young woman or the lady that he's dating, that's the daughter. Okay. Now, Donovan always contradicts himself because he's not as bright as he wants people to believe. Okay. And that's why this video, Women Over 23 Are Leftovers, Red Pill Guru goes after Preacher's wife, gets exposed as a fraud, is so paramount. And what I'd like to do, stop the show. Fair use, please. You know how y'all always do that when y'all want to use a clip. I want to talk about how Alba and Preach have, again, taken down one of the Red Pill's biggest frauds. And let's just play the first few minutes of the video to kind of find out what we're dealing with today.
Any man who marries a woman past the age of 23 years old, you're getting leftovers. But yeah, David, listen, man.
It's not saying I don't disagree, but telling like women that they're left over at 23, and then like telling men this, like what do you want us to do now? Marry at like 18, 19, which is even worse. But I don't think you should be marrying like anybody at those ages.
I'm not trying to be mean-spirited, but you married a single mom. Like, post-wall women, they get married all the time, but the men they get married to are very low value. They're beta males. They're pushovers. They're not real men. They're not the men that arouse these women.
So credits where credit's due. This man makes fun of other people's spouses and different things like that. Claims he would never date a single mom. Well, somebody pulled up his quote-unquote girlfriend's bankruptcy records, because those are public records that anyone has access to, and they found some interesting information. Let's see, listen. And I'll give credit to the people involved. I'll link the videos in below. So there you go.
Devin is one of just a few women I've dated, older women I've dated, who didn't have any kids when I met them. But again, they're the exceptions. Devin is my girlfriend. She is not my wife. We have never been married. She is not a single mother, and we have not adopted anybody. I got a 13-year-old niece that stays here at least twice a week. Because Olivia, she's 14 years old now, and she's a beautiful girl. She could.
And so as we now look at her application on the screen and go to the section describing her household, it states, do you have dependents? Yes. Does dependent live with you? Yes. Dependent's age, 10 years old. Dependent's relationship to debtor 1. Daughter.
I want to make something clear here. I don't care what kind of woman you choose to be your girl. Be with who you want to be. You want to date a single mom, I don't care. What I don't like, and what I think is very laughable, is you run a course, you have video clips making fun of other men for dating single moms and criticizing those women.
Now keep in mind that this also contradicts everything Donovan Sharpe has taught his audience about the types of women to avoid, going all the way back to his days when he wrote for Return of Kings, to his free ebook called 16 Ways to Immediately Disqualify Her for a Relationship, where he states that single mothers should be avoided as they make for the worst girlfriends, wives, and mothers.
Yeah, see, those statements I agree with, you know, but it's the fact that he's hiding everything, lying about his girl's age, lying about if she has a child or not, and things like that, and then pushing it off as he's still getting a good woman or a good woman in the manosphere's eyes is definitely fraud, right? And I hate that this really puts a bad light on a lot of the manosphere, and just how some of these people are like these gurus or whatever take advantage of people. So.
I was a single mom. And yes, listen, I know single moms are bad and this and that and the other, but we all got to start somewhere. Don't commit to them. You've been married before.
I have.
Okay, you've been married before.
I got married young, and I was married for a very long time. You know, for the 20-something years before we met, you know, as an adult. You know, for the 20-something years before we met, you know, as an adult. You know, for the 20-something years before we met, you know, as an adult.
I met you when you were 32. You are an older woman. Devin, my girlfriend, is an older woman. Okay. Yes, my girlfriend is an older woman. She turned 36 back in February. I misled my audience about Devin's age, but I did that for privacy purposes. Just listen, Devin.
I don't get how you can mislead people on someone's age as a privacy thing. Why? I don't know. That just sounds so corny.
It's 45.
Meanwhile, every day you get online and you lie about the fact that that woman has a daughter. That the woman that you call your girl, your wife, has a daughter. And not only are you lying about it, you lying about the fact that your girl's old, which is fine. But you lying about it while telling other people to not wife up used goods. That's what you say.
You see, guys, this is what happens when you're a fraud and you go after people's wives and you say you're going to beat people up. You have all of these receipts of you lying on the internet, you hating on people. And see, the problem with Donovan is he's burned so many bridges. He burned the bridge with.
Yeah, I mean, he attacks Preach's wife. Like, Preach is awesome. He doesn't post anything about his family. He doesn't have like images of his family. And then they go out looking through his Instagram, find a picture of him with a woman, a white woman, and just straight up say that's his wife, and just been blasting that woman. And she's a comedian. Like, and they've been blasting her this whole time, thinking that it's his wife. Like, really? Like, you guys don't have anything better to do than to try to dig up people's wives so you can talk trash on them? Like, that's disgusting, man.
Us in the black manosphere, but we didn't really come out to like crucify him.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had a big thing with the Black Manosphere side, that they've had a little big falling out. Again, I don't watch his content. I've like never been a fan of how he presents the content. Same thing with Fresh and Fit. I don't really watch their content too much. I just don't like how they present it overall. Plus, I just don't like Fresh and Fit when they were like causing this drama with, they were copyright striking everybody, and that's fucking low class, man. Low class.
Then you went over to Anthony Johnson in the 21 group, and I'm not trying to make this a race thing or anything, but the white men are not going to deal with that disrespect like some of us do. We'll shrug it off. But when you want to go over to the white guys and you do this, they're going to make you pay, which Anthony Johnson has been making Donovan pay forever. And the rest of the people who have been defrauded or hate Donovan Sharpe, they're doing the same. And the reality is that Donovan Sharpe has been dealing with single moms and at the same time scamming his audience because he has no real skill set. And I believe
This is probably the biggest issue I have about it, and this is why I want to cover it. He charges like $800 for his courses and stuff, and he's a fraud. Like, he's been convicted for felonies like 5 times. Like, even in the Abba and Preach video, they talk about like him, frauding his father and stuff, and him selling these courses, I'm not mad about, but him selling these courses that probably don't really do much and taking advantage of his, his audience, and lying to them and pretty much like tricking them to thinking that he's some kind of guru about it when he does quite the opposite. So
if he's like a 4 or 5 time felon, he even defrauded his own father. So because he has no real skill or no real intellect or anything he can really do, he uses people, and he'll even use the red pill to sell overpriced courses that make no sense at all. And he does that to get money to give to this woman that he's most likely married to. I'm not saying that he is, and that he calls this lady, his girlfriend, and the daughter, her daughter, the niece, when really he's a stepdad.
Yep.
That's really what he is. He's a stepdad. Nothing wrong with that. Just stop lying. And see, that's what he's doing. Lying. But it goes on in the red pill so much. You have a lot of fraudulent guys in the red pill who want to just use their audience to make a lot of money because they're bums. And this is the reason why I work so hard in giving my audience a good amount of content, because I don't want to lie. Right? I'm Dusty, and
I agree with O'Shea. I'm Dusty. I'm not a rich guy. I don't really want to take advantage of people. I've never done it in my life, or at least try not to. And yeah, I agree. I just try to make as much content as I can. I do the 2 videos a day. As long as everybody's enjoying and my sub is going up, and I'm happy. As long as, we have discussions, people enjoying the content, and, I just cover topics that kind of relates to me and that I care about. That's why we talk about the race subjects and things like that here and there. But I don't really plan on selling any courses. I'm not a professional, fucking artist or pickup artist or anything. I just tell you how my life works, if it works out, and I just give you examples of what happens with me. So I do want to put some, like maybe a membership sooner or later, but I also don't have enough content. I don't do enough things, I feel like, to earn people's memberships yet. So that's why I just haven't created one. So, I mean, it sucks to see a lot of these red pill / manosphere people taking advantage of men, right? Just because the sphere or this is supposed to be here to help men out, not take advantage of them, because it helped me out. The last 3 years that I've been immersing myself into this content, I've learned a lot, and I hope men that come into my channel, even women come into my channel and learn some things here and there. I have discussions with women all the time, so
broke a little bit, but I'm not gonna tell you to go do something and you catch me doing it.
yeah.
And the thing about Donovan, if he would have just shut his mouth and not get into so many beefs with people, it wouldn't be such a problem. But because you get into it with people all the time and you think you're so smart, like one of the dumbest things that you want to do is to keep running your mouth because you want to hear yourself talk and you don't make sense and you talk about your personal life and then this information is out there on the internet and then you want to challenge people and then now you get exposed. And then you want to talk about how you're going to beat somebody up. Are you going to beat up Preach? Are you going to beat the hell out of somebody? And then you have all these receipts and then you're being exposed like the fraud that you are. Now, it's been happening for years. This is what Donovan does. He tries to con the black manosphere. He tried to con the white guys. All right. And they got tired of that because see, at least we were able to just like kind of sweep it under the rug a little bit. But see, he hates himself. He hates his people. And now you're being exposed by people who are not in the black manosphere. We were nice enough to not really put your information out there, bro. But look at what
I guess I'm part of not the black manosphere too, huh?
what you figured out a way to do. All right. You have figured out a way to ruin everything that you touch. Anything that you touch, you have destroyed it. Nobody did it, but you did it to yourself. And this is what he always does. Donovan has always done this in his life. You can't blame black people for this, bro. You got to blame yourself. And I know that you don't want to blame yourself, right? But see, everywhere you've gotten in your life, you drove that car there. And this is the problem with a lot of these guys.
It's accountability, man. That's what I tell you guys. You know, always take accountability. You know, the shit you do.
Guys out here, they want to go out there and be self-righteous, but they're bums. They want to tell you to do something and make money off of it.
Yeah, I could tell you guys. I made plenty of mistakes. I probably still make mistakes now. I'm not the brightest of people. You know, I just try to live my life to what I think is a good life. You know, and using the red pill and the manosphere content to navigate through my life. Right. I don't really think that you have to do this. You shouldn't do like you can't marry these or do you shouldn't do that. Like there is things you shouldn't do, but if you end up doing it, hey, you end up doing it.
But they won't do it. That's why nobody takes the manosphere serious anymore. Especially you Bitcoin course selling gurus.
You assholes.
Yes, all of you course selling
Again, I'm not a big fan of people selling courses, especially Bitcoin. Like, what the fuck, guys? Like, this has nothing to do with the manosphere. It's just you guys, like, these guys trying to take advantage of people.
Bitcoin selling gurus.
Oh, and I'm big in the Bitcoin. I'm big in the crypto myself. I don't ever talk about it just because it doesn't relate to our subjects here. Like, why would I ever want to talk about that? Plus, and it's not something that I'm interested in talking about. So,
who want to just use your audience to make money all the time and lie to them because you don't really want to work or add any value, and you want to talk about the women that you're actually sleeping with. It doesn't make sense, bro. I don't get it. But maybe I'm not supposed to get it because I actually work for what I get.
Yeah.
Take it. Ooh, sound effect. Well, Donovan, that's the game over sound effect again. You keep on playing around, bro. And I mean, I just don't know. Another red pill guru bites the dust. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea D.
how's that, Chow? Again, I don't really have anything personally against the man, but I do have some issues with the hypocrisy that just most of the red pill / manosphere content creators do. Like the way they push, like you have to do this, or you're some kind of beta, or you're this, or you're that. Like it polarizes the men in the manosphere. Like that's what it really does, because now men are just hating on simps for being simps or whatever it is, and some of these men, they're not simps. They're solid men, but they're willing to take the hit of taking, or willing to, raise another man's child because the woman is worth it to them. That doesn't make them a simp, as long as they're taking care of everything. So this is the issue I have a little bit about the manosphere. Just we dog on men when men make choices, and yeah, even if the choices blow up on them later, the men made their choices. Like we shouldn't shame people for their choices, just like we shouldn't be like women. Like we're doing what women do, right? When women shame us for our choices, we're shaming men now for other men for their choices. And it just now it's just a pointing game all around this freaking manosphere stuff. So, I mean, let's put some comments down below. I mean, if you guys like my content, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And catch you guys next time. It's chow time.